Hey everyone, this is Jen and you're watching BPD Woman Shorts. In today's video, how to deal with rude emails. Let's get going. Nothing can be more dysregulating than getting a rude email. And what's even worse, since the person's not in front of you, it can be easier to just vomit everything that you want to say and hit send without sending. But how many times have you done that? I know I have, and then felt really bad and more dysregulated after the fact. Dysregulation and impulsivity play right into our decisions to respond to these negative emails. And once we've done that, once we've hit back, then we lose our credibility and we lose any standing power of anything that we really wanted to get across. All it does is create a tit for tat where no one wins in the end. So when you are responding to these rude emails, there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind, and then I'm going to give you an example of what happened to me yesterday. When you get a rude email, you have to consider the following. Who is this person in relationship to you? Is this relationship something that you want to keep going? What are your goals and what is the desired outcome? And finally, what kind of limits are you willing to accept? And what behaviors will you not tolerate? And then I think like a sixth core piece to this is knowing what's theirs and what's yours, right? Because if you have BPD, you are usually pretty unsure about what you're feeling, what you should take responsibility for. Perhaps you over apologize. I know I do. And so when you over apologize, then you assume blame, but assuming blame in the end, all that does is make you feel worse about yourself because you're like, why the hell did I even apologize? I hate that guy, right? Okay. So keeping all of this in mind, I want to tell you about a little incident that I had yesterday. So I have a client. He's been a client one time and he was on a different platform. And this was back in October. And during this exchange, he had a little bit of trouble dealing with the payment system. And normally I send an invoice and that's it. Like I don't do follow-ups. I don't say, hey, where's the money? Where's the money? You're a big boy or girl. If you want your pet to be taken care of, you'll pay me the money. Okay. So I hadn't heard from him since October, obviously because of the pandemic. People haven't traveled very much. So we reached out last, I want to say it was Saturday. So we're talking a full 5 days ago now. And he said, hey, would you be available over Memorial Day week to watch the kitty? I'm like, sure, that would be great. Perfect. I told him that I'll send over an invoice and that he needs to either pay by one of my two payment methods. One is Zelle and the other is Google Pay. So both pretty straightforward, right? So he kept saying every day, like, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. And this guy is older. He's probably late 70s, early 80s, something like that. And so I had to walk him through initially this payment process back several months ago. So again, keep in mind, this was last Saturday. So we're talking almost a full week. So Saturday comes and goes and the rest of the week and I haven't heard from the guy. And so yesterday I called him and I was like, hey, I haven't received payment. Did you get my emails? He's like, oh yes, I got your email. I'm on my way to see my son though. And, I'm a little hesitant about paying over apps. And I'm like, well, I don't what else, how else did you think that payment would happen? Okay, whatever. So he's like, I like to do everything from my desktop. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. Your phone is a computer. So there's not really a big difference between using your phone or a computer. Anyway, so I said, well, if you have trouble with these apps, since you're going over to see your son right now, he's middle-aged, your son could probably help you, right? Okay. So again, I don't hear anything. Until late last night around 7 p.m., he wrote an email. He's like, well, I am trying to download these apps, but it's taking a while and I'm going to have to call my bank and I'm having a great deal of difficulty. This may take a while. So even though he doesn't live super close by, he's probably about a 20-minute drive away. I said, hey, I don't usually do this, but I'm willing to come out there and just take cash if you would feel more comfortable. You know, he's not a real frequent client, so I don't mind every 6 months driving out, right? Not something I've ever done, not something that I had to offer to do, but I wanted to be nice and help him out, right? Okay, be accommodating. Well, that was met with an angry email. So about 2 hours later, he said at 9 p.m., Jennifer, I have tried very unsuccessfully. I have been on the phone with my bank to try to, do this, install this app. He's like, but this is not working. And I wish you would have told me at the beginning, these were the payment methods that you accepted, because they are as random to me as Bitcoin. I'm like, okay, all right, buddy. Right. And he's like, I don't like paying with this kind of thing. And so I didn't respond. And then so like 30 minutes later, I got another email, and it was like, I am very frustrated. I am going to have to go into my bank tomorrow and figure this out. It was just these rude, like, I don't like, you need me more than I need you, right? So now let's go back to that criteria. What is my relationship with this person? Well, he's a client, right? Is he a pretty loyal client? No, I don't know him that well. Do I care about how the relationship plays out? Not at the cost of me being treated rudely or somebody like talking down to me. That I will not tolerate. What is his fault? What is my fault? Well, I have no fault, right? So I've actually gone way over and beyond my scope of needing to do things here, right? First of all, you initiated contact last Saturday. So you've had almost a whole week now to settle this. So who's to blame here for being late in the game? You are. Second of all, downloading an app, not that hard. I'm sorry that you don't know how to do that, but that's not my responsibility. You're a grown-ass man, okay? You drive in a car, you could figure out how to download an app. It's pretty simple. What are my boundaries, right? What am I willing to accept? Well, I went to be more accommodating, and that was met with more anger. So now how do I feel about the situation? Well, I feel like I'm ready to just kind of be like, well, you know what? You can be on your own then, because I don't need you as much as you need me. You've been very rude. Now he's created this environment of uncomfortableness. And he said something in the last email, like, I'll let you know if you have to come over here for the cash. And I'm like, wow, like when I went on vacation, I was so nice to my pet sitter. Why? Because I wanted her to do a really good job, right? Like, she didn't, but I got food that she liked, right? I sent thank you notes, I gave her lots of praise. I tipped her, I would never think, let me be rude and even though there were times that I wanted to be rude to her because she was not doing what she was supposed to do and being where she was supposed to be when she was supposed to be there. I didn't lash out and say, you fucking idiot, even though I wanted to, right? Why? Because I wanted her to have an incentive to take care of my pets. So I can't even actually wrap my mind around this big man child being rude to me, even though he's asking me to take care of his pet. I can't, like, does he not realize that I could just be like, okay, well, then I'm not taking care of your cat. How about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you are dealing with these, and I didn't apologize. And in fact, I sent one email after his last third tirade email. I sent him one back and I was like, Ken, this is very simple. No one else has a problem with this. You're the only one who's ever had a problem with payment. And I said, what could be simpler than paying with an app? What would you have me do? So at this point, after sending that, I was pretty confident, like, you're not going to talk down to me, first of all. And second of all, I'm okay if this transaction falls through, because I did not start my own business to get involved with clients that were going to be jerk faces. It's just not why I did it. So I knew what my goals were, I knew what my boundaries were, and I knew what was mine. And so there were no apologies, there were no I'm sorries, there was no guilt on my part. Why? Because I wasn't responsible for that. And yes, having those interactions is going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be uncomfortable for people even without BPD or anything like that. But the thing to remember here is that You want to be maintaining your own self-worth and self-esteem. And you don't do that by accepting abuse or nasty emails. And you certainly don't obtain that by over apologizing and assuming blame for something that isn't yours. Let me know what you think below. Have you ever had a nasty email? I'm sure you have. Just tell me about your nasty email below, what you did, what was it about, how did it make you feel? Was it very dysregulating? And I will check out your comments below. My name's Jen. You've been watching BPD Woman. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.